Today on Suncoast View, the voters said yes to closing Greyhound tracks around the state. But will there be enough who say yes to adopting the racing dogs? We'll discuss.
You are never too old to reinvent yourself. We will meet a woman who has had numerous careers in everything from fashion to fiction, and she is not done yet.
And the chilly temperatures are perfect for curling up with a good book. Bookstore One is here with suggestions and to give us a head start on our holiday shopping. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the show and welcome back to Marcia Panucci from Animal Outtakes.
Great to be here on this nippy little morning.
Yes, it is.
I like it. Do we like the change?
Oh, yes.
It was shocking.
Yes, yes.
Oh, but it gives you energy. It makes you want to run.
The dogs were frisky. Were your dogs frisky?
Kind of. They don't know what to do with cold weather.
Yeah.
You know, because all of our dogs are Florida born.
Right.
So,
Well, mine are too, but they had a little jump in their step this morning.
Yes.
there was a little frost on the nose. So
I wish mine did. I feel like my neighbors probably laugh at me, but every morning I'm like pleading with Lulu to use the bathroom quickly so I can go back in. So I take her out. I'm like, come on, please, please. And my neighbors are probably thinking this idiot is I don't know what he's doing. And she's so small they might not even see her. The people down the block, so they think
you're talking to the flowers?
I'm talking to the grass,
Well, we are glad it's Friday. A lot going on across the area, of course, for the weekend. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Lots of out-of-state license plates I saw on my commute this morning with people coming down for the Thanksgiving week.
Yes.
They're heading in my direction. I've got some arriving tomorrow from South Carolina.
Wonderful.
I always wonder if they're upset when they come down and it's a little cooler
Yes.
here. I mean, cold for us is certainly not cold for the Northerners, but I wonder if they're like this. I signed up for 80.
My Midwest family wants 80 and sunny because they want to go to the pools and they want to go to the beach. And
But
do
when
things
we
like
came
that.
here last from Philadelphia, we were just glad that it was so nice and balmy, even if it was a little bit chilly like this.
Listen,
Yeah.
half the Northeast got snow yesterday, so I don't think they'll be sorry to be here with us.
And you know, I was thinking they're all going to head down here because this winter is starting so hard and so snowy. We'll see them all
well, that's
arriving.
the fall changing of colors. The license plates.
Exactly. Yes. That's how we celebrate
Yes.
fall here. All right, well, we're going to celebrate some great food on this Friday. We'll see who's in the Rice's Appliance Kitchen today. We say hi to Executive Chef Craig from Evoke at the Westin. Welcome back. What are we cooking today?
Oh, well, today I'm making blackened mahi-mahi tacos with Scotch bonnet sauce.
Oh, that sounds lovely. And I bet things are starting to get hopping at the Westin this time of year.
Oh, yeah, all the snowbirds are coming back, and we're very, very busy. Everything is very crazy over there.
And not too chilly for the gorgeous rooftop bar, I'm sure.
No, it's amazing. It's very refreshing. Plus, we have the heaters out there as well. So,
Ah, that's nice.
yeah.
That, I'm sure, will be a very popular destination over the next week or so for all the visitors. So we're glad you are with us today. So we are certainly all ready to talk about the Thanksgiving holiday. I do want to point something out for the weekend. You know, Thanksgiving is not easy for everybody. And the Sarasota YMCA is celebrating a little bit early and lending a helping hand. They'll be giving out more than 600 turkey dinners to families. It'll include vegetables, the sides, a pie, and of course the turkey. So if you know of anybody in financial need, you can visit the Sarasota Y tomorrow. This starts at 9 a.m. and they will be handing out the meals until noon.
One of the greatest jobs in the world is handing out those meals, being the one to look into the eyes of somebody and knowing you're doing something very nice for them.
Oh, yeah. I know the branches are actually also open Thanksgiving Day, limited hours, but you know, some people, if you don't have family to go have dinner with, it is, you know, you can go there. I've learned so much that it's more than just a fitness center there. I mean, there really is kind of a sense of community in all the programs they have, but this is just another great thing they do.
Absolutely. So that's a little bit early. That is happening tomorrow. But speaking of things happening for the weekend, the timing for this could not be better. It is the 2018 Englewood Beach Water Fest. The event is kicking off with a free block party tonight. That's from 5 to 9 in Englewood if you want to hear the music and get some food. But Water Fest officially starts tomorrow. And those, of course, are the offshore boat races. The big question I know you're thinking, how is the red tide situation? And the answer is great. So conditions have really, really improved. They're excited to get people out on the beach, showcase the community, and even with the cooler temperatures, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to be out and about for some people. When
and
the
you
heat
can walk to so many things down there. We've been there before
Yes.
for this, and it's just so much fun.
It's one of those communities that was hit very hard by red tide. So I'm excited for them that the conditions are better. The weekend looks beautiful. The entire next week looks beautiful, so that they can, get back on their feet, get some visitors there, and help those local restaurants and businesses.
It's a great neighborhood too. If you live in, if you live Northern County and everything, it is a great little day trip to spend some time in Englewood, and the great restaurants. And we got introduced to them this summer when they did their, the meal promotion where you could let's eat Englewood.
Let's eat Englewood.
Yeah.
So
Of course,
that's great.
it's only an hour away.
Yes, yes.
So it's
And
a
there's
great
nothing
place
like
to just
having
go.
hot chocolate on the beach.
I don't think I've
Interesting
ever done
concept.
that.
I don't
Mark.
think
you
I
haven't?
I like the way you think.
Stick with me. I'll give you a few more little hints on the beach.
Well, on that note, let's get chatting, because I think the good stuff is about to come. It is time for our first hot topic. And after the voters' decision to end greyhound racing in Florida, the big question now is what's going to happen to the dogs. Nearly 70% of voters approved Amendment 13 that outlawed the popular betting sport, and it takes effect by December 31st, 2020. So that will close down the 11 tracks in the state and leave a lot of dogs homeless. Racing officials say usually about 98% of retired greyhounds are adopted by families or go to work on farms. But as the industry shuts down, more and more homes for these dogs are going to be needed. I've kind of been saving this chat for Marcia to be here because I think you could really help people understand. Tell us about the personality of a greyhound.
Well, first of all, they're a very intelligent part of the hound group, but they need to run. They are trained for that. Their energy level is high, very, very high. So if you're looking for a couch potato, this is not the dog.
Okay.
They want to get going. They get up in the morning just by their sheer nature. This is what they want to do. I must say I am delighted. It took a little time, but we finally got this thing thrown out, and so that the dogs do have an opportunity now to have a good life. I think what I would do, and certainly what we are reaching out to greyhound racing and that, what dogs are ready now that could be phased out of racing, and we could start looking for homes for this. I think people who live on any acreage, farms, ranches, perfect, absolutely perfect. They're loyal, they're very loyal, they're going to do well, but they won't be your couch potato.
Right, they do need the exercise.
That's a good idea, though, to try to get some of them out now so there isn't this huge,
Yes.
Yes.
trying to move all of these greyhounds at once, find
Yeah.
homes.
And
I
they'll
would
have a
con-
better life for the next year.
Yeah, because let's face it, they haven't been using all of these greyhounds all the time anyway. So
Yeah,
there
right.
have been a lot that have just kind of been held in abeyance. We ourselves at Dante's Den are reaching out to see which ones we can start to take in and find homes for, so that there isn't that glut in 2020.
Right.
Because the worst case scenario, and I've seen this in print a number of times, and it breaks my heart, that if they can't get them adopted, they will euthanize them. Well, this wasn't the greyhound's fault.
Right, absolutely.
So I think we have to do whatever we possibly can to get these dogs into homes and into environments that they can thrive.
And get starting now is
Yeah,
certainly
and
a
Get
good way to
going
do it.
now.
It's
Get
not a
going.
favor for the dog. It's a favor for you when you adopt one.
Well, absolutely, because we reap all of the love that they have to give. And I must say, if you'll let me sidestep, we talked about the wonderful work of the YMCA. We have donated food to the homeless for their dogs from Dante's Den.
That's great.
So, so that everybody has a Thanksgiving.
Including the dogs,
Including
although
the
you know
dogs.
what, we're all about that
Yes,
here.
yes.
All right, have you ever hit send on a message and just immediately regretted it? Yell, bring it back. Well, on Facebook, you don't have to worry anymore. So Facebook Messenger is introducing an unsend feature from the private chats that you can do, and it gives you 10 minutes to take back what you sent. Okay, this cracks me up. You know how this technology actually got developed and used by CEO Mark Zuckerberg to delete some of his own messages?
Does that mean they hold it for 10 minutes till you make up your mind?
I don't know.
I would
That's an interesting
imagine, and
question.
I'll fact check this for next week, but I would imagine it means if it's not read, So if
Right.
because a lot of times, and you notice on Messenger, you can send someone a message and it's not immediate.
Yeah.
And you can usually tell by a check mark or an icon of the person's face whether or not
Absolutely.
they've opened it. So I believe it's if they didn't open it, you can take it back. 10 minutes is great. I could use like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because I usually regret some things I send 24 hours
Well,
later.
especially if you're having a heated, emotion, once you cool down.
Well, I had an embarrassing moment. I was telling somebody how sad I was that a member of their family passed away. I don't know what I hit, and ha 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 came about, and I started calling all my friends. How do I get this off? This is terrible. This is embarrassing. No one knew how to get this off, so I had to call the party and say, please ignore. I don't know what I hit. Please ignore.
Because they have emoji, they
Right.
have common emoji
Right.
responses at the
Yes.
bottom that with just one finger tap.
Yes.
I
accidentally.
I've had
remember
that
hitting
problem.
comment, and then this ha 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 came.
Oh my goodness, Marcia.
So it was very embarrassing. So I'm glad for this.
Because
for
you can
sure.
edit a post. I have certainly gone on and
Yes.
amended a post rather quickly if I thought I said
Yes.
something that maybe shouldn't have been
But
quite
that
right.
person may see it. They may see it if it's
Right.
10 minutes.
Well, and you
So
can
that
always
would
go back and
scare
see
me.
a history. You can see all the editing history of a post if you're really nosy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've got to teach us that, Joey.
Although it's
have
funny
a
'cause
lesson.
earlier this week I texted Stephanie and negotiated a price with her to sell her a desk. I didn't mean to send that to Stephanie. That was supposed to go to somebody
How's
else.
the desk?
You know what? He was just glad that's all he sent me by
Exactly.
accident, and
Yeah.
I know that. So,
true.
there are ways to make it better. That's all we know. Well, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, but it is no secret that long-distance relationships are tricky. But a new study of 1,000 couples shows a surprising success rate of those who are kept apart. 58% of long-distance relationships survive the distance. 27% of them were long distance from the very beginning. Maybe they met online or while traveling. Experts say being apart can help you be more mindful of your relationship and enjoy any time you have together, even the simple things. Have you ever done long distance for any length of time?
Many times. Bud, my husband was a football coach, and he would go to the next city, and sometimes it would take me a year or two to get a house to move there and everything. We got along so well. It was like going on a date when he would come.
And I don't think that's negative. I
No,
think that's an
no.
appreciation. So, Marcia, you did it as well?
I did it for a long time because I lived in Europe for a while. I found it difficult because, yes, your heart, you want to be with this person, you want them to share with what you're doing, but you also don't see them on a daily basis. So when you come back, you sometimes get a surprise.
Oh,
Day-to-day
interesting.
warts and
Yeah,
all.
They've
warts and all.
changed?
Yes. Oh, well, I certainly didn't change, but you certainly see what they are all about. I mean, let's face it, a day-to-day relationship is much different than, well, I don't like what you said. I'll get on a plane and go.
Right.
Okay.
Very true.
You have to face whatever it is. So I think they're difficult.
And in long distance relationships, every time you see each other, it is an event. So you are
Yes.
getting together for a special date weekend or a special weekend.
And that's not reality.
You don't
No,
see the
that's
clothes
right.
on the floor. I'm talking about myself, of course.
No.
Crumbs on the counter, dishes. It is. It's a
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
different relationship. I think it's equally as wonderful.
Yeah. It was really good for our marriage, I think.
Well, because maybe you took out, the bickering and the nitpicking of the daily things, because daily life is hard.
Yes, married to a football coach, you don't yell at them during football season. They've got enough trouble, so you save it up. So when you start to
Did you
yell
make
in
lists?
January, you're saying, well, back in September you said, so you say.
So you're making the list for the
Yeah,
whole
well,
season.
my
Yeah.
mind
It
is
rolls
keeping
out.
going.
All right, in the last 4 months, we need to talk about what's been wrong with our marriage. I can see that not going over so well. There is a place in Ocala where if you've never been there, it's gorgeous. It's Silver Springs Park. It's known for its gorgeous glass-bottom boats, so you can see the springs, hiking trails, and now a big rhesus monkey population. In fact, there are so many of them that certain trails and boardwalks in the park are closed to visitors right now because these monkeys get a little erratic and a little aggressive, and they also may carry a herpes virus. Officials are saying...
Nobody's going to believe you got herpes from a monkey.
Yeah, exactly. Officials are saying the population could double in 5 years. I read this week. There's a website called Only in Your State. And if you're ever looking for research about fun things to do in our world, go to Florida and check it out. But it was talking about how Silver Springs is like on the verge of being shut down because of monkeys. Where did they come from?
I know that answer. I grew
Take
up
it
in
away,
Georgia,
Linda.
and we went, my high school graduation, we went to Silver Springs.
And you brought a monkey?
No, we didn't bring the monkeys. They were already there back then. Tarzan, they did some Tarzan films. They did some jungle films there and brought the monkeys for the movies and then left
Did
them.
you start matchmaking monkeys, and that's how this all started? Like, oh, you should meet my monkey friend over here.
But it is.
You don't have to do that.
No, it's the monkey sex that's the problem.
Let me tell you something. First of all, they're monkeys and chimps and all of our monkey breeds here, the species, they are not indigenous to Florida.
I didn't think so.
So they have all been brought in, okay? Monkeys can't get enough of it. Read between the lines,
Right.
okay?
They like to monkey around.
But at the same time, they are extremely aggressive. We caution people, don't have them as pets, because one day they're fine with you and the next day they can rip your face off. Doesn't matter if it's a little guy like you're talking, because those are pretty much little guys, or the chimps.
Wow.
So I think you just have to be very, very careful, and they probably will take over that entire area.
Well, just something to keep in mind. And while we're talking about animals, quickly, give us a look at what's coming up this weekend for Animal Outtakes.
Well, we've been given unprecedented access to so many places in our 6th season here, and we are talking about the wildlife sanctuary, and this is where the Mustangs come.
Oh, cool.
And the Mustangs come from the west, and they bring them in here with the cooperation of Florida Wildlife, and they take care of them here. We're also going to see some tigers, and you'll see exactly what happened to us with the tiger.
Wow,
my.
lots of fun. Marcia has such a cool show and job. That is
Yes.
Saturday at 7:30 right here on ABC 7. Okay, we're going to take a look at our mid-morning forecast, and when we come back, it's Financial Friday.
Our radar not picking up a drop of rain across the entire peninsula, and we have some freeze warnings up for northern parts of the deep south. Now, as we head into the afternoon, I think we'll watch that north wind continue to draw down some of that colder air, but the winds will be shifting a little more northeast, and that should keep the cloud cover out in Gulf water. So we have a mostly sunny day in store for us. With that change in the winds as that high moves east and our easterly direction kind of establishing itself over the weekend, we'll start to warm a little bit, but we'll still have some cooler than average temperatures right through the extended range forecast. Our daytime high today will top out around 68, which is below average for this time of year. And our nighttime low will certainly be a little cooler than it was this morning, coming in after the midnight hour toward dawn at around 48 degrees. But in the week ahead, we'll look for a slight warming trend that'll take place starting on Sunday and carry in straight through to the Thanksgiving Day holiday.
It is time for Financial Friday, and picking a financial advisor is a very important life choice. After all, we're counting on their expertise to set us up financially for the rest of our lives. Financial advisor and planner Esther Halt from Star Financial Solutions is here to discuss what we need to consider when choosing an advisor. And boy, you're not kidding when you say it's an important choice, right?
yeah.
I'm going to hand you my money.
Yeah, they,
Next to a husband, you may be the most important choice.
sometimes even more.
Maybe you'll be more responsible with it. There you go. What are some of the best ways to find a good financial advisor?
Well, you can look on the Suncoast View every other Friday and call me. But other than that, ask for referrals from your friends and your family, people that you can trust. And then once you get a referral that sounds good, look them up on Broker Check, and we'll talk about that. And then go and make an appointment and make sure that you can get along.
Okay, we're going to get to Broker Check right now because I see we put up a
we're
graphic.
gonna
So
do that
explain what Broker Check is and then what we are looking at here.
Okay, so Broker Check is a free research tool that is put out by FINRA, which is the regulatory board. And what this does, you go to www.brokercheck.finra.org, I believe. And this is mine. You put the name in, so you can put my name in. And what it's showing is that I am a registered advisor. I am a registered financial advisor and a broker, and we'll talk about that. It shows that I have no disclosures, which is really important.
Okay.
If people have disclosures, it could be client complaints, it could be arrests, felonies, foreclosures, all kinds of things like that. It shows how long I've been registered, which is over 22 years, and it shows.
I saw your state licenses are there.
Yes, well, it's the states that are on there are just the states I have clients in. That's
Okay.
not so important, although it is impressive.
But I looked you up. I looked you up for this segment and
Yeah.
was amazed that all of the information was right there. And I don't know why I didn't realize that was open to the public.
And it's really important.
So that's a way to, if someone were to recommend Joe Smith, I should immediately
Right.
go to Broker Check. Don't just take the advice of the friend or family member
Correct.
and do some research.
Make sure that their name comes up, because if they're not FINRA registered, their name might not come up, and that means there's no FINRA oversight, there's no FINRA audits. It would also mean there's no broker-dealer for continuing education, no FINRA continuing education. So yeah, and you want to know that sometimes they used to be registered, but now they're not anymore, and it'll say that.
So is financial advisor just a term people throw out there? Everyone who is an advisor is not FINRA, and are there different levels?
Yes, absolutely. So the top level is somebody who is Series 7 registered with FINRA. And if you're Series 7 registered, then you're a broker and you can work, sell stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities if you have an insurance license, and all kinds of other investment options as well. If you're 6 registered, that limits you to mutual funds and investment products. Also annuities if you're insurance licensed. But after that, you can take a test called the 65 or the 66. And a lot of people only have that, and they are not FINRA registered. And they call themselves registered investment advisors. There's my credentials. I not only have the 7, but I have a 24 that's a supervisory, which is a step up from that. So that's a bonus.
Boy, there's really some homework that needs to be done here.
But
Yeah.
you can find out. That's the good news.
And the other thing is, there's a lot of people out there that just have an insurance license, and they've never even taken any kind of financial, test or exam or anything, and they're only licensed to sell like fixed annuities or indexed annuities, and since that's all they're licensed to sell,
That's
you
what they
bet they're
sell.
going to sell, where I can do all of it.
Right, and I've run into that before, where somebody pushed an annuity because it had a really big kickback for them.
Right.
I've been warned
Oh yeah.
about that kind of
Oh
thing
yeah,
before.
commissions on annuities are quite nice. Thank you very much.
All right, so obviously there's a lot of different things to consider. I think Broker Check is the big takeaway from this, is to
Right.
really do some research on the people you are
You
working
might
with.
not want to go to somebody that just got registered 6 months ago, has no background, or that has been arrested, or something to that effect.
All right, it's a big resource and an important part of our future, so this is how to keep your finances safe. Thank you, Esther. For more information about any of your financial questions, you can contact Esther at starfinancialsolutions.com. Coming up next, the new study says we're doing 2 things in our car that we probably shouldn't be.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Since 1847, the Grand Hotel has earned a worldwide reputation for elegance and hospitality. Now the Grand has been transformed with reimagined rooms and suites and exceptional fine dining and meeting spaces. The spa is more luxurious, and championship golf will test your game, all overlooking beautiful Mobile Bay. The Grand Hotel Golf Resort and Spa. Timeless elegance transformed. For reservations, visit grand1847.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Welcome back. So we know that self-driving vehicles are likely to be a big part of our future in the next 20 years. That could lead to some other automobile activities. A new study says that robot cars will lead to more car romance and car sex. A tourism research study says people will be more likely to eat, sleep, and engage on the road hanky-panky when you don't have to spend your time concentrating on driving. Robot cars are also expected to impact the number of hotel stays and people sitting down to eat in restaurants. It'll be easier to eat and sleep in the car. And don't be too appalled about this car sex prediction. The report found that 60% of you have already had sex in a car.
Well, I'm just hoping they have dark windows. Because
Valid
the
point.
people
Car
in the
tinting.
next car don't have anything to do.
Yes,
But
auto
watch
tinting.
you and what you're doing.
That's the new industry, auto tinting. Now we'll have to get into it.
Yes.
I mean, it does beg the question. Okay, hanky-panky, sex in the car is one activity, but I was actually thinking like getting work done,
Oh, I'll
taking
get
a
so
phone
much
call.
done.
I can see you just.
Oh,
I'm just going
gosh.
to take an hour-long ride just for a little quiet.
Right, or just to
sleep.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep,
No,
yes.
I think it's the best creation ever because I don't like paying attention to the road because there's other things
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing. I can't stop my brain.
I've
So
been
it's hard.
waiting to get a new car until they're out.
Well, now that we know this study, Linda.
Maybe you could get a prototype and try all
Yes.
sorts of things in it.
But rental cars, I want to make sure they're clean now that we know this study. You know what I mean?
Ew.
If I'm borrowing someone
Ew.
else's car. From eating in the car.
Yes.
So 60%, anyone fessing up?
That's
It's about what I
saying
figured would
a
happen.
word.
It's Friday, but it's not that Friday.
All right, just checking. There weren't cocktails first. Sometimes I can catch them with those tricks. All right, when we come back, we are going to take a look at books to curl up with our cool temperatures, and also meet somebody who has used books as part of her career. Stay with us.
Happy Honda Days are here, and you're gonna like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord. On sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever. On clearance for only $249 a month, loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Do not miss these Honda clearance savings this week at your local Honda dealer.
Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips. At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps. 2, 3, 4. Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making the connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business. ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Executive Chef Craig from Evoke at the Westin. And we're getting in the holiday mood. Chef, I understand that it's already time to talk about New Year's Eve. What's planned at the Westin?
Oh, well, we have multiple events going on, and we have the rooftop experience. So it'll be from 9 to 1, hors d'oeuvres, champagne toast, 4-hour top shelf liquor. And then we also have a pre-feed dinner in Evoke. And then we also have the Evoke Terrace, which is the perfect spot for watching the fireworks on Marina Jack.
Ah, all right.
That
So
one is
lots
open
of
to the
options, and
public.
it
Yep.
is time to plan. All right, we'll see you in the kitchen in a little bit. Joey?
Well, the holidays are upon us, and one of the best ways to keep your sanity through all the hustle and bustle is to step aside for just a little while, curl up with a good book. And that is especially warm and cozy since the cooler weather has arrived here on the Suncoast. But it's got to be a book good enough to keep our attention from wandering back to our overwhelming to-do list. Well, luckily, Elsie Souza from Bookstore One is here with a list of books that will keep us enthralled. Welcome back, Elsie.
Well, thank you, and good morning to the cold weather
Yes.
at last.
So I know you'll be bringing us a great list of books that would be great gifts, but as we get into the holidays, do you see more people coming in wanting to get something just for themselves?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and it's the time of the year where people are coming from the north or just wandering in because of the cooler weather. And so, yes, we're seeing people come in and choose a book just for themselves, which is a great thing.
Oh, I love this. All right,
Yes.
so let's start with, what's the first book that you brought
So
us?
the first one is The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Arakawi, and it's the story of a friendship that develops between a cat that was lost and a wonderful gentleman. And Marcia, you would love to read this because it's a love story that develops between the cat and his master and how they travel around the country of Japan. So yes, you would really enjoy that.
And universal even for dog lovers.
Oh, absolutely. We were not a cat family, but believe me, I enjoyed reading that.
Oh, that sounds great, especially around the holiday time.
Oh,
All right,
yes.
what about the next one?
So the next one is a very old favorite called The Good Earth, and the reason that I brought it along, it was actually written in 1920, and it's the story of a Chinese family and chronicles, you know, what goes on in life. But if I could just show you very, very quickly, it's a graphic novel. And
oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
This
graphic.
is The Good Earth?
Oh, here,
yes.
hold that up for just a second so they can see.
So they can
Oh,
see.
that's one of my favorite books of all time.
Yeah, and graphic novels are just gorgeous and to be enjoyed by an adult or by a young person.
Can I ask a stupid question?
No.
It was written in the 20s. Was it a graphic novel when it was
No.
written?
No,
or this is a new version?
No. Now the world has become the world of comic books.
Gotcha.
And is just so
That is
appealing.
amazing.
Yeah, so
Wow.
we have a wide array in the store.
A great
of
new
graphic.
way to read this
Absolutely.
classic piece.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So enjoy.
All right. And next, House on Mango Street.
So everyone has a house on Mango Street. Mine was the house on Babbitt Street, and it's the story of a family. And if I went along to all of you, you remember a certain house in your life. And so this is the house on Mango Street. It's the story of a Mexican family and what happens to Esperanza, who's the daughter in the family. And Sandra Cisneros, the author, is just really famous. And this is her best book that she's ever written.
Sounds like it's a really nice,
and
as
what
we all
was
get
your,
nostalgic.
Yeah, so what was your?
The house on Avery Ave. Yeah.
See? And what was yours?
Williston Street.
Oh, and yours?
Ellis Road.
And yours, Marsha?
Clarence.
See?
Now,
so
we all know.
everyone.
We have those houses.
Which is really, so yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Enjoy.
You curl up and you get all the feels from
There
that book,
you
as the
go.
kids say.
There you go. So I brought the next one. So John Green is one of the most popular authors for young adults, and An Abundance of Catherine is one of them. So I brought this, I'll tell you why. This came from the Dutch, and they're doing these tiny books where you hold it in your hand and you can just flip it and
Here,
read
let me see
it.
for a second.
Yes,
I'll hold it up
go
so our
ahead.
viewers can see.
Exactly.
So it is tiny, which is nice because you can keep it in a jacket pocket or in a purse.
Exactly, and
yes.
and that's becoming what's happening to books in the
Really?
world.
They're
and we
getting
love
smaller?
it. Yeah, so
And
you
the
can
print
just
is this way too, so
Right.
you would read it holding it up
But
this
I
way.
might need a magnifier.
Yes, it is a little teeny.
Or hold it up really, really close.
Give it with reading glasses.
But I like this too because I'm trying not to be on my phone when I'm waiting at a doctor's office
See.
or something. So this is something I could have with me and still be able to read.
You've got to carry it, so this would be much easier to carry.
Oh, nice.
And it's yes, and it's very cold. So we have these in the store. The next one is one of my favorite books, Anne of Green Gables, by
Of course.
Montgomery.
Linda loves this story.
Do you
I
love
do.
it? Oh,
yes.
oh.
Now this would make me feel comfortable, warm, and cozy during the holidays. You
Right.
need to escape with a book like this.
So Anne is this delightful young woman with red hair, hates her red hair. She's an orphan, but she's taken in by her family, and there's a love story, right, that develops it.
Yes.
And it's just a wonderful
It is. It
Yeah,
gives
it's
you
just-
faith in the world again.
Doesn't it? Yes, it's a great
All
story.
right, no matter what side of politics you're on,
No.
it's always great to hear the story of someone who's in the spotlight. So tell us about Becoming.
So Becoming
Michelle
is Michelle Obama's book that just came out this week, and I have started to read it. I'm into it like 100 pages. It's a great read for anyone. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle, I have to tell you. It's the story of this young woman, obviously, who grows up on the south side of Chicago, in an incredible family. When you read about her mother and what she did for her in her lifetime, and her dad, and how she becomes the first lady, it's just a great, I encourage anyone to read it.
And this one just came out, you said.
It
so
just
that's
came
great.
out.
All right, next, The Library.
So the library book is by Susan Orlean, who's one of America's best authors. And it's the story actually starts with the tragedy of a fire in the Chicago Public Library in 1983, but then it becomes a love story of libraries. And very candidly, when I grew up, the library was where, was our source of books.
Yes, where everybody gathered.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, how wonderful. And then to finish us out with a classic and
Oh.
so timely with the new movie coming out,
Yes.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, an old book turned into movies, and we'll see it in December. So Mary Poppins is
Oh, this
just
is great.
divine.
And this is actually a good one to read and then also give as a gift.
There you go.
Especially with it coming
Yes.
out. And I know it's slightly different than the version we all knew when they made a movie. It's a little darker, I understand. So how great list, Elsie, as always. Thank you so much. You can find these books and so many more by visiting Bookstore One in downtown Sarasota. You can also find them online at sarasotabooks.com. Coming up next, speaking of authors, we'll talk to one who has got a surprising past to tell, and she's not done reinventing herself.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Like ABC7 on Facebook to stay connected to the team you trust. This is an ABC7 News Update.
Good Friday morning, I'm Ray Collins. Today at noon, some sad news from the Sebring Raceway in Highlands County. 24-year-old Sarasota race car driver Katarina Mahler was killed last night in an accident. We'll have the story at noon. And the Coast Guard brought $500 million worth of cocaine back to South Florida. This was the result of several drug busts in the Pacific off the coasts of Mexico, Central, and South America. 18 tons total. Let's get the forecast now from First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi.
It'll still be kind of breezy today with winds out of the north coming in at about 15 knots. They'll lighten up a little bit during the evening, and we'll watch them pick up again as we head into around the midnight hour. By dawn, though, they'll become relatively calm. 3 to 5 foot seas, moderate chop on your bay and inland waters. Those calm winds overnight tonight and fairly clear skies will aid in taking our daytime high of 68 and dropping it down into the upper 40s when you wake up tomorrow morning.
Celebrate New Year's Eve at the Van Wezel. Madison's presents the Sweet Caroline Tour, a Neil Diamond concert celebration starring the #1 Neil Diamond performer in the world, Jay White. Proceeds benefit Sarasota's Parkinson Place and the Parkinson Research Foundation in their first ever community fundraiser. Individual tickets and full access VIP packages available now at vanwezel.org. Spaces limited. That's vanwezel.org.
Watch Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7. Premieres September 8th.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
What do you get when you combine a Miss Universe contestant, a model, a school teacher, and a retail corporate trainer all in one? You get 81-year-old Darlene Quinn, whose 7th book, Webs of Perception, is just being released. And she can hardly wait to find out what her next adventure is going to be. Welcome, Darlene.
So nice to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
We're very happy to have you. You've had many careers in your journey. How do you keep reinventing yourself?
Well, I have a very checkered resume, and I really don't leave jobs because I don't like them. I just keep finding things I like a little better.
Well, I read that you always apply for the top job. If you're going to apply for a job, you might go for the president's job.
Well, when I was deciding to reinvent myself, and I loved teaching. I absolutely loved it. But I didn't, when my daughter was diagnosed as severely deaf, I didn't want to be within 4 walls. So I had this wonderful resume with all these different things I'd done. It was like being all dressed up with nowhere to go. So I knew if I got this resume into a personnel office, they'd say, gee, if something comes up, maybe we'll give you a call. So I thought, that's not going to work. So I called Bullock's Department Stores, which is now Macy's, Inc. and Bloomingdale's, and I asked who was in charge. I sent my resume to the CEO. Now, the CEO is not going to call you in for an interview, but what he does is he hands that resume to the person that might take care of it and says, please take care of this. Later on, when I reported to the president of the Bullock's Wilshire stores, that's exactly what would happen. He'd say, Darlene, handle this.
Wow. Now, books, you've written 7, but 6 are a series, and you just came out with the last one in that series.
Right.
Tell us about your books.
Okay, when I started, my first book was Webs of Power. And since I was in the retail fashion industry, the background of my books are all authentic in terms of what happened in the world of fashion department stores. However, I never let the facts get in the way of a good story. I write page-turning suspense, and I write in the style of a thriller. And different than a mystery, I'm sometimes introduced as a mystery writer. My stories have a lot of mystery. However, in a thriller, the reader always knows more than any single character.
That's a good distinction.
Yes, yes. Now, you started writing late in life.
Well, yes, after I was corporate training director for the Bullock's department stores and then on the management team for Bullock's Wilshire. And when I resigned, I thought, oh, that's great. I'll have all this time to do the things that I never had time to do. Well, I cleaned the closets. You know, that's one thing you want to do.
Yes.
I played tennis, but that really wasn't enough. So then I started, and I hadn't used a computer ever. I had used a manual typewriter. My secretary wouldn't even let me come close to the electric typewriters. And so I decided, okay, what can I do with that? So I went to Savvy magazine and started writing some articles. And they were on nonfiction things, interview skills, negotiating skills, time management.
So now you're 81. Finally, somebody older than me. I'm 80. Have you found, like me, that being 80 and over has certain advantages?
Actually, you know, I don't think about age too much. I'm younger than I will ever be any time soon. So I really don't think about age. It's just, you know, I am what I am. I've never tried to be younger. And yes, it gives you a freedom to do what you want to do. I don't have to make a living right now.
Along your journey, what is the major life lesson that you can share with the rest of us?
I'd say follow your passion. What do you like to do? How do you like to spend your time? And look, you know, what could I do with that? Oh, that's an interesting thing. I never planned to be an author. I grew up in a time when they taught sight reading rather than phonics, and my greatest creativity was spelling, which made my writing papers look like I had the measles.
That's a great way to say it. Your greatest creativity was with your spelling. I'm going to borrow that.
It wasn't appreciated.
Oh, well, your writing is appreciated now. We can hardly wait to read your new book. Thank you so much, Darlene. For more information on Darlene and her books, go to her website, and we'll be right back.
On the next Black Almanac.
Think nonprofits don't understand good business? Well, Sarasota has 32 of them collaborating to develop future physicians, physicists, creatives. Their business plan focuses on preparing babies born into poverty for the workforce.
One of the purposes of this whole initiative is to get all of us working together.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC 7.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Teachers inspire our children and promote a lifetime of learning. So ABC7 and Gettle Automotive want to honor these chalkboard champions by giving them the chance to win $500. But we need your help. Go to mysuncoast.com/chalkboardchampions to nominate an outstanding teacher who's really making a difference. And each month we'll deliver $500 to one teacher in Sarasota County and one teacher in Manatee County. Go to mysuncoast.com and nominate your chalkboard champion today.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level,
When your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Women have shed their blood in defense of America since the dawn of the Republic.
They didn't have to sign that dotted line. They chose to.
Their sacrifices are profound.
If there was bad guys out there, we'd go out and find them.
And their noble accomplishments largely ignored.
No damn women aboard.
Unsung Heroes, the story of America's female patriots.
She's getting shot at out there.
An inspiring saga of perseverance and triumph.
Sunday at 10 on ABC7. Get local news and information from the team you trust. Like ABC7 WWSB on Facebook to stay connected to the Suncoast.
Well, welcome back. We always say you miss a day, you miss a lot. But if you did miss it yesterday, we had the chance to meet film actor Stephen Lang. You'll know him from the movies Avatar and Don't Breathe. He is actually bringing his one-man show, Beyond Glory, to the Van Wezel this coming Monday, November 19th. And in the story, he presents 8 veterans from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, rendering first-hand accounts of the actions which resulted in each of them receiving the nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Really fascinating show, really fascinating guy.
Oh,
great
we
to
loved
meet
him.
Yes.
He was such a great guy.
Left a big impression on us and our viewers. So if you want to see the show, that is November 19th. You can go to vanwezel.org. And if you missed the interview, you can find it online at suncoastview.com. And coming up next, you can find us in the kitchen with Evoke at the West End.
This is an ABC7 News Update.
Good morning, I'm Jess Dowdrick. Coming up today at noon, a warning to parents after an 11-year-old boy was abducted from his front yard in West Bradenton. We'll tell you what happened and what parents should be on the lookout for. And believe it or not, it's time to start thinking about shipping holiday gifts. We'll have the deadlines you need to meet to ensure your package gets to where it's going before Christmas. Now let's check in with First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we'll have plenty of sunshine around today, which would normally help to warm us, but because of the north wind that has developed, we're really not going to get a whole lot warmer. That north wind's going to draw down some cooler air throughout the day today, kind of beating back the effects of the heating of the day. We'll get up to about 68 for a daytime high, but over the course of the weekend, the high kind of drifts a little to the east and shifts our winds to the east. That'll tend to bring back a little bit more moisture and moderate our daytime high temperatures a bit. We'll look for a daytime high today, as I mentioned, of about 68, but we'll drop down to cooler temperatures tonight.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Welcome back. We're here in Rice's Appliance Kitchen with Executive Chef Craig from Evoke at the Westin. So what are we making? We got a lot going on here.
Oh, well, today we're making blackened fish tacos. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to blacken the fish. And blackened doesn't mean burnt, so I tell a lot of my new cooks that because they put something in the window and they say, but they said blackened, chef. And I said, but that's burnt, so we have to.
Right.
So
it more refers to the spice?
Yeah, well, you are blackening it, and what it is a mixture of spices, and we use Paul Prudhomme's Redfish Magic. That's the one that pretty much every restaurant uses. They sell it in Publix. It's a great blackening
That's
spice.
good to know.
What was that again?
Paul Prudhomme's Redfish Magic, because he actually invented the technique and the
Okay, but you have a really hot pan, I can see that.
really hot pan. It's smoking.
Okay.
I'm gonna just put the fish down. I only put the blackening spice on one side.
Oh, yeah?
And then I put it in there. And I get a nice sear on it.
Okay.
I've cut the fish very thin so that it can cook all the way in the pan. And it'll just take about 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
So while that's cooking, we're going to start making the tortillas. And the tortillas, I have the pan a little bit lower, a little bit of oil. And you just want to kind of warm them up and melt the cheese. So I'm going to put the tortillas in there, a little bit of cheese.
Ah, this is looking good.
Okay, and now we need to make the pickled onions, so I'm going to ask for your help with that.
Okay, I'm ready.
We have the pickling liquid here. We just need to pour it over the julienne red onions.
I've got the pickling liquid over the onions.
And what makes up pickling liquid?
It's vinegar, wine, sugar, and salt, and some spices.
Okay.
And the
Good
reason
stuff.
you want to put pickled items on like tacos or burgers is it helps in the digestion. So the acid from the pickling liquid eases digestion. So if you're eating something heavy like a burger or a fish taco,
Yeah,
that's the whole point of having it in there. Okay, so we've got the fish cooking, we've got the tortillas, now we need to make the sauce. So what we have here is the Scotch bonnet. In that first cup there, that is blended Scotch bonnet, onion, and A1 sauce. You take a whole Scotch bonnet, seed, stem, everything, put it in the blender with the onion.
A Scotch bonnet.
Scotch bonnet is the hottest pepper in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, it just takes one. And take these off here.
Okay. Oh, those look good.
Yep, the cheese is just starting to melt. If you look at the bottom, it's just a little bit crispy.
Yes, that's perfect.
And how's our fish going?
Fish is going good. I'm going to flip it over.
Ooh, gorgeous color.
Yeah.
See that it's blackened.
It's got nice color. I'm just going to turn the heat down a little and just kind of let it finish cooking right there.
Okay. What would you like me to do?
Okay, so we're going to start assembling the tacos. As you can see, the fish is almost done
Yeah, that's quick.
right now. It cooks very, very fast.
Are there types of fish that work better for fish tacos than others?
I like a lighter, flakier fish, like grouper, mahi-mahi is a great fish. Corvina is a very good fish as well.
And would you say that Evoke has an emphasis on fish? Tell us a little bit about your menu.
Our menu is comfort food done light, so it's kind of a global menu. And what we do is we take classic dishes from different regions of the world and we prepare them in a lighter way.
I love that.
So this is an example of that. I mean, you take a traditional taco and we do it as a fish taco.
Sure.
So it's a little bit lighter. So I'm going to put the fish on here, and then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you start assembling the tacos.
The assembly, I'm very interested because I tend to have a problem where my tacos break a lot. So I'm wondering if there's a trick. And I'm thinking maybe even the melted cheese might be a nice barrier.
Okay, well the trick is to not undercook them, because you need to cook them in the pan to kind of soften them up a little bit.
Oh, to cook the tortillas?
Yep.
Yeah, do you cook your
That's
tortillas?
No, and they break, and I have a plate full of filling.
Yep, you got to warm them up in the pan a little bit.
I
It
like
makes
all the
them more
different
pliable.
textures. So you're using a cabbage to get a little crunch?
Yep, we use Napa cabbage, so it's much lighter than a traditional cabbage. It's close to a lettuce, but it has a little more crunch than a lettuce, so it's the perfect. Yep, those are the pickled onions. Those come up next.
Onions. Oh, this will make your digestion good.
Yep,
Remember you told us that.
And it's a great combination of flavors too. It's not your traditional taco. It has a lot of unique ingredients.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, you wouldn't think about mixing cheese with fish. A lot of people don't do that, but it totally works with this dish.
And then
what
some
about
sauce?
this? Does this come here too?
Well, we got the cheese on there
the
from
cheese is
before, but
already
we
here.
need to add the sauce.
Okay.
Linda, you're a good line cook.
Thank you very much.
This is the Scotch bonnet sauce.
Those tacos aren't
Is that
gonna
about
break,
enough
I can tell.
sauce?
Yep, that's the perfect amount. It has a little bit of a zing to it. It's a very unique sauce. Everybody's always asking for the recipe, and the thing about it is you wouldn't think A1 ketchup, mayonnaise, and Scotch bonnets, but it all works together.
It all works together.
It's
Well,
amazing.
that's why you're the chef.
Exactly.
All right, who's going in?
All right, and
I
then
am.
Okay, I'll sacrifice.
Well, why are we so shy today all of a sudden?
Okay. Oh, you're supposed to put.
Oh,
do a
look
little
at
pick
that.
there.
Well, and it is never too early to
we
plan
go.
for New Year's, of course, at the Westin.
Pass them down.
Yes, you talk, I eat.
Yes, so New Year's at the Westin, you have the roof. You also have the terrace at Evoke.
Evoke Terrace, that's going to be more open to the public. You'll have a bar there, and then you can watch the fireworks. And then we also have a pre-feed dinner in Evoke itself. So
Great
that'll
stuff
be
happening, and again, New Year's is coming sooner than we can think.
You got to cook your tortillas. That's the key. Cook your tortillas. All right, happy Friday, everybody. Have a great, safe weekend. Take some time. Enjoy that great Suncoast view.